Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of Making It Make Sense with Isaiah, Jasper, and Theo. Today's episode is entitled Is it Shade or Disrespect?
Ooh. Yeah, so what is it? Is it shade? So what should we have a definition of shade from the king of shade?
I think
Yes,
so.
let me get y'all. Let me go to William Webster's. What is it? Merriam Webster's, Theo's favorite place.
You're damn right. That's where I exist.
Do we all have the app? Because I love a Merriam-Webster app. I live like it's amazing.
So
Okay,
shade is this
okay. You ready?
snaring expression of content or disgust with someone, sometimes verbal and sometimes not. That's not no, that's not a good
No,
definition.
shade is a here's the definition. Shade is a subtle, sneering expression of contempt for or disgust with someone, sometimes verbal and sometimes not. Ooh. Not
There we go.
my shade definition. Oh,
So yeah, Jasper's alter ego, is that good to say, is the king of shade. His
yeah,
alter ego is known for chopping down the best of them with
but
his shade.
with love. With love. It's all
Is
it's
there
very
love in is there love in your shade?
it's always love. I'm always uplifting and encouraging and informing and educating the ones that I have to shade. Always. So it's nothing. It's never nothing. It's nothing negative. It's
So
nothing.
it's a
It's not come
read
from a
and a
negative
shade.
place.
So it's a read and a shade.
It's like a read.
Yes,
And
I'm shading with fun because it's comical because people laugh, and I'm also informing them so that so they can understand why I'm shading them. So it's I'm actually educating. I'm actually doing something positive with my shade at least.
because shade comes from reading.
Yes,
Okay, Paris is burning.
because reading is what fundamental. Yes, always fundamental.
So
Hmm.
yeah, most people you might have heard if you're a cultured person, you might have heard the first time shade and reading became very popular was during the early 90s when Paris is Burning came out.
Mhm.
People now know reading and being shady through RuPaul's Drag Race. They're late to the party, but shade and reading has been a part of the LGBTQ plus culture for years, but now it's super duper popular in media now. When I guess white media has taken it on because it's become part of the lexicon now, shade and reading and all these what they like to say colloquialisms.
Colloquialisms. Yeah, it's.
Yes.
But there
Definitely.
should be a difference. I grew up in New York where it's a little like I didn't grow up being shady. I grew up being grimy
Oh,
and just
wow.
straight up disrespectful. Like we go for the jugular. Like,
Yeah.
we talk about your mother and her sagging titties and
Your
we
mama's
go there.
social security number is
Just
one.
evil. See, that's
Yeah.
evil. See, that's not shade. That's just evil.
We so like
It's just grimy.
I've never been able to be shady. I've always been able to be grimy and disrespectful. And that's where we go. And then at the end of the day, after we diss each other, we kick it, pound and keep it moving. Shade is something else, and
You can be
disrespect is
shady,
something else. And
but
I don't know how to be shady. I
you
just know how to be disrespectful and grimy.
you can be shady. You had your shady moments. Miss Theo, you had your shady moments. Your shade is very. It's very. It's very. Your shade is blunt. So when you shade someone, it hits them. So like it sticks for a second. Like my shade, it bounces. It hits and bounces all. Your shade sticks for a second, and then once it's settled in, then it's like okay, yeah. So
What
your
about you, Isaiah? Are you in your day to day really shady or
No, I'm kind of like you. I just get disrespectful. Like I don't even there's no
really.
there's not like well, not just like out of nowhere, but like if you say something to me and I think it's disrespectful, I'm gonna let you know I think it's disrespectful. I'm gonna be disrespectful back to you. That's
give me
just
a
kind of like
reason?
if you say something in a tone and it's like I receive it a certain way, um I'll let you know I don't like it. Like straight out. Like I don't really do that. I so shade for me, like I'll do like if we have like a rapport with each other, you can throw a little, here and there and joke around and stuff like that. But like, if we don't know each other that well and you say something that's perceived as disrespectful by me, then I'm going to be disrespectful to you.
I'm coming for you. Stabbing you.
I'm just gonna I have to, that's something, therapy, I have to work on, because like I've had to, and I think I've gotten a lot better, but it's like, oh, you're being disrespectful, so I'm gonna hurt your feelings. But like, so I've worked, I think I've
note to self, don't be disrespectful to Isaiah.
Yeah, because Isaiah. So
no, I'm not.
JK.
Yes, I've never seen this side of Isaiah before, so this is new to me.
Oh, it's just, and look, just to add on, it's just really like honestly, it's a defense mechanism, because like, and don't nobody get no ideas out there, but I am the shortest of the three of us. So, I mean, like, sometimes you have to do a little bit of this to keep people at bay, like, leave me alone, stay over there, like, whatever. So,
but in general, shade came, and reading came also as an overall defense mechanism for LGBTQ plus people, because when you are disenfranchised or marginalized, you sometimes have the art. Some people have the art of war. LGBTQ plus people have the art of reading and the art of words and of shade. And they've mastered the ability to be able to make, to sting with those words. Yeah, because I've been read before. And they say, and somebody read the shit out of me. And I felt that shit in the core of my bones. I felt that shit in my DNA.
Wait, I can't imagine. Why would someone just like read you?
Oh no, a transgender girl read the shit out of me. And I felt it to the core. I was like, oh shit. Well, I got a shade 101, reading 101. And mind you, it's because I was also being nasty to her. And that was her defense mechanism. But she mastered that ability to be able to be shady and cutthroat and leave me just there for the vultures. And I was like, this fucking bitch. But I deserved it. But like, some people have mastered that ability, but it came as a way to defend, as a defense mechanism, to be able to survive through all the bullshit and all the nonsense that society and your community sometimes throws at you. But to tell you the truth, Isaiah, you know why we're talking about this?
Wait a minute, people. Yeah, focus on him, because it's his fault. Disclaimer.
So this week, I went on Instagram Live with someone that I know, and that me and Jasper both know in common. And so we were talking, and we were just talking several things. And then Jasper was being shady.
I wasn't being shady first. I
think the person was being shady to person. So the person was being shady to Jasper.
Okay.
So the person was being quote unquote shady to Jasper. Oh, and then Jasper,
they invited him. They basically just went, "Oh, you want smoke? My door's open. Come on in." Okay.
Oh no! But then when Jasper started being shady and started reading, the person felt like Jasper went too far, and then they got their feelings hurt. So it went real quick from shady to disrespect. But Jasper doesn't do it that way.
From their angle.
Okay. Okay.
Go Isaiah. No, you go first. No,
go ahead, because you were talking. I just.
No, you go first. I'll wait.
Oh Lord, we just gonna have the polite like that. Okay, so
finish, and I can respond.
No, I know. Yes, but no. So thank you. I think that's where, and that's what I was talking about a little bit ago. That's where it can go left. If you guys have that person in common, like, and you're both friends with them, I feel like you kind of get each other's humor if you've known each other for a certain amount of time. I think it depends on the connection, though. Like, so the person,
obviously not.
But
maybe I don't know the dynamics of that friendship. But for me, there's really only like 4 or 5 people that I'll let like come after me and we can play around. It's a joke. Like, it depends on what it is. It really, you have to like know me for like a long time. Otherwise, if you say something slick to me, I'm gonna hurt your feelings
I'm
because
coming for you.
it's just like, or whatever, right? Like, but it depends on if you've known each other for a little while, then you can do that, which I would expect out of this, which is why I'm shocked if you both like that it went kind of dark. But I will say this, I don't think that, at least from what I've experienced, I don't think that Jasper will just go out, like, will go after someone for no reason. Like, you had to have started like playing, because here's the thing, if you start playing around with people on a certain level, then you get what you get, kind of. I hate saying that really like that, but it's, you know, because it doesn't mean like every type of behavior is acceptable, I guess. But like, I just don't think he would just be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna hurt your feelings out of nowhere. I think he would be
No.
like, oh, okay, like you said this, so okay, let's get into it. Am I right in saying?
Jasper wouldn't, but the King of Shade ain't no joke. And that day, that was the King of
Then,
fucking
yeah.
Shade.
But I don't think, here's the other thing. I think because King of Shade is still a part of Jasper, and I don't think he'll just say something out of pocket for no reason entirely.
Would you, Jasper? We're talking
you?
about
Yeah,
him
let
like
me
his
ask
ass is
you.
not here.
I know, that's why I was like, would you? Yeah, what's your?
Isaiah, in this situation, Isaiah's correct because I didn't initiate the shady banter that we were having. This person actually initiated it with me and decided that, you know, that they wanted to have a fun shady fest. So when you initiate with me, then it's okay. We having a shady fest, so it's all in good fun. And so it started off light and it gradually progressed to for this person, obviously, to I went too far, but I could have said the same thing because what was said to me, I could have taken this too far, but I didn't because I knew we were having a shade fest and it was all in good fun. So you know you can't say, oh, I went too far because when I said something to you, but you said something to me that I could equally have taken this too far on just live, so on live at that.
It
So
was on live. Yo, it was on live, by the way. So other people were watching and listening and reading.
Ooh, okay.
And
so
it was but you know what it is, Jasper? When I'm thinking about it, no, he did throw the first jab. So I'm the kind of person, if you throw the first jab, I'll make sure I'm Mike Tyson your ass out.
That's
Right.
me.
Like if
That's
yeah.
it's free.
But that person's felt so disrespected and
well, can I ask? I mean, not to, and you guys let me know if I'm getting too deep. But like tea. So like it's what was said.
Can we? Do you feel comfortable saying that, Jasper?
I was gonna ask.
You can say what I said, and then I'll say what he said to me. So you can say what he said.
Okay. So no. So you say what he said to you.
No, you said what you say what I said first, because what I said.
Yeah. That's
what,
you
what I said.
The guy was saying. The guy said to Jasper, "Oh, hey Jasper." He made fun of Jasper's Wi-Fi, and then said, you know, then you can. He said you should go get an older gentleman to pay for your Wi-Fi or something like that. He told Jasper.
He said sugar daddy.
Get a sugar daddy. Yeah, get a sugar daddy to pay for your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, he said sugar daddy.
So you can have a better Wi-Fi. Yeah. So then Jasper told him, and you are trying to be sugar daddies or be sugar daddies to melanated men.
Young melanated men. You trying to
melanated men because that guy was white.
I said to groom. I said you're trying to be sugar daddy.
Not grooming. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you come for me. I'm gonna come for you. So don't say don't say I have a sugar daddy. When someone that says you have a sugar daddy, that's you saying that I'm a hoe. You saying I'm out here making money off of my body. So now it's fair game. And I could have took it as negatively, took it that way, but I did not laugh. But when I said what I said, oh, you went too far. No, you actually went too far with me. And what I said was the best thing I could have said at that moment. Because see, what I'm not going to do is ever let a white man get on a platform and then you're gonna shade me, and I'm not gonna back up because he's white at that. Like we're not gonna have that. And then what made it worse? Then what made it like okay, when I said what I said, then he was like, Then I commented in the comments. I was in the comments doing all this. He was on the thing. I'm in the comments. Yeah. So
Wait, so you're on live and
I'm
then you're
supporting.
in
I'm,
the
I'm
comments?
supporting Theo. I'm supporting Theo. Watching the thing.
Oh, right. Oh, this
Supporting.
happened.
Yes, being
I
supportive.
see
I'm
what.
being supportive.
Okay, I
I
see
said
what's
to the
happening.
entire program, and then all of a sudden, towards the end of the program, he
Not
decided that
program.
let's have a shade with me, shade fest with me, which is fine. But you said
Mm.
I might have a sugar daddy. What you just implies, and I'm black. So you a white man telling me that my defense really going. So now I'm gonna come for you, and and when I get tea, if you come for me, I'm gonna say it to you in a way. You're
I
gonna get
feel like
back. So like that's not don't do that to me. And then he said, and I said what I said. I'm just playing. I was just a joke. Calm down. Oh, now you're trying to clean it up. So now I'm trying to clean it up. So what we're not gonna do is do that. So and I said what I said. Now I meant what I said. Because now you wanna make it seem like you don't really done something, and you got me cleaned up my mess. No, we're not gonna do that because one, you white. So we never gonna do that.
Ladies and
so.
gentlemen, is it shade or is it
Or is it-
disrespect?
Yeah,
I
that's the
have a.
conversation.
I wanted to. I wanted to say. I feel like had he, and this is why I want to know what was said, because then you can break down where it went wrong and where it went from like shade. Because would you agree there's like fun shade and then there's like
Yes.
shade as
Yeah.
well. That's the other thing about shade is there's fun shade and then there's like, okay, they're shading you, like they're coming for you. And then there's just straight disrespect. So
Mhm.
I think the straight disrespect was he should have left it really at the Wi-Fi comment. If you want to throw a little, I'm gonna get you some better Wi-Fi.
Mhm.
That's it. Instead of going a step further to be like, well, maybe if you get yourself a little sugar, because also this is the thing we run into with like, and I think even sometimes in friendships, like I've told my friends straight up, like, don't speak to me like that. Like straight up. Like I had a friend call me one time, very heated. They were upset, and we had it was a text message disagreement we had, and they like came in on a 10. And I basically I said, first of all, before we even start a conversation, don't talk to me like that again, ever. Don't raise your voice at me like that.
Mm,
Right. So you have to
boundaries.
be able to, right. You have to be able to like, you can do that in friendships, but when it's somebody you don't know as well, sometimes I think that's where it can go left a little faster. When you're in a friendship or stuff like that, you can kind of talk it out because you understand where the other person's coming from, or at least you try to, right? But he should have really just left it at the Wi-Fi thing, because then once he mentioned got into the, oh, maybe if you get your little, because that also implies that, okay, what are you saying about like don't talk about my finances. Let's not do that because we don't.
But
All right.
I didn't see it that way, Isaiah. That's actually a good way of seeing it. Because there's certain things that my friends and my family members that have known me for years or whatever, they can get away with calling me a big head.
Right.
They can get away with calling me Big Lip Theo. Like, and they can get away with calling me, whatever, and then we have this back and forth. But a random in the totality of things, because I don't even think he has a relationship with Jasper in the way that we have a relationship with Jasper.
That's what I mean.
Him saying that had other implications, and it could have been received as disrespect with Jasper, because him and Jasper do not have that kind of relationship.
Level of
So
rapport.
yeah. So you
And
can
I
be
think,
shady to a
yeah.
limit, and with boundaries again, and I think that then became disrespect.
Because
I
it's
laughed.
also.
See, I laughed. I enjoyed it. I laughed when he said it. I didn't find
Yeah,
it.
because you
I
knew
didn't
what you
find it.
had to say. That's why.
That too, but it wasn't really that because because that didn't come into my mind until the sugar daddy when he said the Wi-Fi lab because it's comical. He said because we said it to me before when we did our what's
Right,
called on we talk about the Wi-Fi. That's comical. It was comical to me because hey, because it is what it is. It's funny. I didn't have a problem with that.
right.
But when you say sugar daddy. And I laughed at that too. I didn't find it a problem. But when you take offense to me saying what I said, now I can go back and say, well, hey, you said I had you implied that I may have a sugar daddy, which implies that what I'm out here sleeping around, I can go out here sleeping around and make my money by sleeping around with older men.
Only fans. Look at
Yeah,
you.
that's what I'm saying. So that's not a
Full
compliment.
circle.
So if you can say that to me and I take it and I laugh at it and I don't immediately find offense to it, then when I say what I say, don't play victim because that's what we're not gonna do. We're not gonna do this whole white fragility. Oh, you know, white man syndrome. It's a white man syndrome. When
And
if
that's why
something
you
happens
bring
now,
up a
now you're
good
the victim. Now I done you wrong. Like, it's
and
not
you bring
fair.
up a good point with that too, like about it's not. It's like I feel like there's a level of because even when it's people that aren't related to you or that you don't have a close knitting with,
Hmm.
there's a level of things that certain people can say to me that other people cannot
Period.
at all. Like you don't say that to me, like at all. Don't be disrespectful to me. Don't like there's a list of and a lot of this honestly is boundary based, right? Like that's really I think that's the difference between shade and disrespect is boundaries. So it's like, okay, know what the line is, kind of, or whatever, learning where the line is, knowing what boundaries for people are
And
like.
people don't respect boundaries. People believe that once again, I'm an American. I can say whatever I want. I'm an American. I can do whatever I want. Yeah, go to China and do that. You're going to get yourself fucked up and put in jail. Some people don't understand boundaries, and you have to self govern before someone does that for you. And I'm seeing it now that you're saying it. This person didn't understand a boundary. Again, this was a soon to be 60-year-old white individual
And
talking to this 30, soon to be 30-year-old
29,
black,
the baby.
I was waiting.
the
I was like,
soon
you
to
gonna say
be, that's why I
29.
said soon to be 30-year-old young black man. And he was implying that this person did sex work or should do sex work. It's disrespectful. It's no longer shade, especially if you and I don't have that rapport, that understanding. And again, I didn't give you permission to cross that boundary. It went too far.
How did you see it like before? How did you originally see it when everything happened? What was your original thought of it?
Oh, I didn't give a fuck. I didn't give a
Like,
fuck because
That's your
first of all,
friend.
because you
That's
know
your,
why?
you know.
I will never say that to you.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, you will never have that response and that reaction to me.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, I am purposeful with my language. I don't go out there being disrespectful just for the shits and giggles and then don't expect for you to say anything. I'm not a hypocrite. I respect you and expect that in return. The golden rule: do unto others what you want them to do to you. So I was like, that will never be me. That will never be Jasper because we don't live in that realm. And me and Jasper have boundaries. We have respect. And, you and I have a different relationship than that. So I don't even see that happen. Like, you and I got more important things to argue about than that shit.
And we have our own banter that we have our own little banter. We understand each other. So when we
Yeah.
say things to each other, we know it's not coming from a place of hate or like malicious or like
Or disrespect.
or disrespect. Yeah, it's not coming from that place. So
and
And
that's
if I
not
feel you're being disrespectful, I tell Jasper, you're being disrespectful.
oh yeah.
I don't like that. Yeah, but when he told me that, I was like, I was trying to figure it out. Like, it's tit for tat here. Like, you threw a bomb and you came and Jasper threw an atomic bomb. You shouldn't be throwing bombs.
That's how
that's
I
why
look
I
at it
try to
too.
stay that's why I try to stay out of like and you guys both know this. I disengage a lot. Like because I'm like I'm gonna stop it and nip it before I say something that's gonna like be disrespectful
You
to
want to talk about
right.
mothers?
So I just like to because I feel like sometimes too you owe it to the people around you to check yourself and step back and just go, okay, I'm gonna be quiet and silence because sometimes silence is also an answer. So I operate from that space because I don't really the only people I get like really like Vincent, my best friend, and one of my best friends, Jake. Like, we'll shade each other, like, all like say shady stuff to each other all the time. But that's also because, like, I know it's not coming from like you're not actually trying to like say something to me to like be really shitty to me or like be like a straight up asshole because that's what you're in the mood to do today. Like,
Or am I?
or right, but see, that's the difference is like with a lot of other people, I'm just like, I don't know what space you're coming from and I don't know what your day was like. So like if you say something to me and you don't know what my day was like either, you know what I mean? Because that's people can be set off because you never know what's going on And somebody's
Because this
like,
person said, Jasper made me feel like I was a predator. But now thinking out, so you made Jasper feel like he was the prey.
That part. That part.
yes,
And so just imagine if I was on that live with him and we were on a lot together doing back and forth, how they would look, me being black and him white, and I'm saying what I'm saying to him, he's saying what he's saying to me, and then he pulls his card, plays the victim, and I would look like I'm coming at this poor white man, I'm a black man, I would look crazy. So it's
You're
like,
aggressive black man.
hey, very aggressive.
But how come that's the other thing? And that's a good point to like still on the shade versus disrespect train, but like that's the other thing is like, how come? Because I've felt that before. Like I've felt like if I react in a very strong or passionate manner about something, oh, okay, I'm being aggressive, or you're being like, no, because you just said something disrespectful to me. So I'm not supposed to defend myself? No. Like
Oh
you're
no! I don't live in that bullshit realm because I'm black. I'm not allowed to experience the roller
oh no, I'm
coasters
saying
of
what I want to
emotions.
say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like my white counterparts are able to experience a roller coaster of emotions just because I have that luxury. Once again, equity. So if you want to see angry or bitter or whatever now dumb racial stereotypes you want to put on me, then great. I hope you see the same thing in Billy and Bobby and Jane and them who don't look like me. Like you, and I don't let that stop me from being angry. I don't let that stop me from being sad. Like I have the right to experience the emotions that I need to experience within reason, of course. You know, I'm not gonna be go mad and stab a couple of people.
Ooh.
Within reason. That's the New York way, stabbing
Oh
people.
yeah, we just
Y'all crazy, yeah.
we just go.
Yeah, I don't live in that. Sometimes people do not express their emotions the way that they're supposed to because they're cognizant of that. They're constantly thinking, oh, I don't want to say this because I don't want to be perceived as B or C. I give myself the freedom and the luxury to express, to emote, and keep it going. So I like plays.
See, I'm like, I sometimes have lived in my head about the way I'm reacting about something 110% because there are times where I'll be like, okay, if I react this way because I caught with that person, because that's the other thing too is you'll catch things a lot of the time. And also you have to make a decision in that moment, whether or not like, yes, you can emote, but like you have to make a decision like, is this going to be productive or am I just unloading? Like, am I like emotionally vomiting on this person? Like, or is this going to be productive? So sometimes you do have to decide, okay, I caught it, but I'm going to just leave it where it is. You know what I mean? And sometimes that's a powerful statement
Yeah,
too.
I catch it and I'll turn to a baseball player and throw it right the fuck back.
And also me, I'd be like, is it worth it? Can I work it? Like I don't know.
Ah!
I don't, because I don't know. Like, is it worth it for me to
But
respond?
with doing this podcast, I'm able to show a different side of myself outside of the King of Shape persona, which Theo beats in my head every chance he gets. I only want to know Jasper leave the King of Shape outside.
You
So
damn right.
so I've been working on these last few months, separating the two and doing separating because that's a persona and I'm in Jasper's who I am outside of the persona. So like when people who have seen the podcast, listen to the podcast, or listen to what they've said to me, you sound like we see a different side of you. You're more serious. You're not you're not being your shady self. You're being the more serious side of yourself, a side we have not gotten to see. And so I take that and I enjoy hearing that because I do want people to see me outside of that and not box me into that caricature that I created for myself on social media. So this space on this podcast is giving me an opportunity to show that I'm human. I do have feelings outside of the caricature because Tinker Shay don't have no feelings at all. King Shay don't give a fuck. Like I'll say what I say. But Jasper has feelings. Jasper is a human. I can express myself and show a human side of myself. So and that's like the good and bad side of having the King of Shade quote unquote persona because people automatically think I'm gonna be shady all the time. And so have the shows that I'm not always shady. That I'm not always shady. Everything I say is not shade.
I got to learn like the better side of that too, because like I'll be honest, like I was just like, oh well, Shade is in his name, so like how do I know?
Exactly.
Does he
That's
mean
that's
that?
the
Does he mean
thing.
it this way? I don't know. So that's been a really good journey for me, honestly, too, because like I can be like, okay, like no, he's not. That's not King of Shade. Like that's just we're just having a conversation. He's not.
And that when I first saw that name, I was like, I ain't gonna like no motherfucker call no King of Shade. Any motherfucker with the name King of Shade, I automatically said, fuck that nigga. Just like that.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow.
Didn't even give me a chance. Damn.
And then I got to know Jasper, and then Jasper told me, "Oh, you never heard? See my..." And Jasper, raggedy ass, invited me to go see his content, and I saw that content. I was like, "You, I'm not talking to that person. I'm talking to a totally different person." And I actually like the person that I'm talking to. The other one, the other one.
I remember when we first met, I was like, oh, he's not. I was like, King of Shades. I was like, oh, he's not gonna like me. I was like, he's not. I was like, not even I didn't like him. I was just like, he's not gonna like me.
But I was nervous meeting y'all. I was more nervous going meeting y'all because I was like, oh my god, like I'm coming in as the King of Shade, and if they are familiar with my content or if they know anything, they're gonna assume I'm gonna come in trying to take over, being rude to everybody and just throwing shade darts and bullets at everyone. Like, no, I'm like, no, it's not me. Like, I'm gonna come. Let me come and show that Jasper and not the King of Shade. Because I'm like, people, And so I was glad I was able to show that to you guys that I'm someone outside of their persona. Yes, the King of Shade. I turn on, turn off as need be when I need to. But I don't carry it with me in my real world. I'm Jasper outside of everything at work. I'm Jasper. You as you see me at work, you be like, okay, he's completely different because I'm very, very like reserved. So I'm like very reserved, very quiet in my own box. So you're my own little shell.
No, but that day, the King of Shade needed to come out because he shouldn't have said that.
He said exactly. He said it when he could tell when things I was saying that the King of Shade had emerged, and I was like, no. But then like thinking back, yeah, like I saw like yeah, the King of Shade was coming. I was trying to let Jasper come to the forefront, but the King of Shade it was slowly emerging.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta be like, listen, Jasper has done enough. Step back. Now it's time for King of Shade. Like once you've done like everything you could possibly do as yourself, then sometimes you just have to be like, all right, now what's really going on? Let's get it.
Yeah. You know what? That's why I don't agree with that. Being the bigger person is overrated.
It is. Oh yes,
like,
I hate that.
I work every day on myself. The minute I wake up, I am working. I am cognizant to be a better me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a burden and that's a cross that I choose to carry and I choose to bear. Don't come fuck with my shit.
Period.
That being the bigger over, pray for them. No, I'm gonna let Jesus pray for you.
Exactly.
I'm gonna crucify you now. I don't, especially when you give people a chance. Because I'm very fair about the way that I am and the way that I see the world and I interact with people. I don't just go around, going for people's jugular and going for their necks. But I give people a chance. I let you hang yourself. Yeah. And I don't have the time. That could have never been me. I actually think even though Jasper's King of Shade persona came out, that would have never been me. This man would have had to go to psychiatric help after I said what I needed to say to him. Because don't you play yourself like that.
Yeah.
And who do you think you are to feel that comfortable to say that garbage out of your goddamn mouth to me?
You shouldn't even be saying stuff like that. That's the thing too, is like, I think we've definitely, and this isn't just a recent thing, I think this is just a world thing. Mm-hmm. People really come to the table and just act like that no matter who somebody is, like you can say whatever you want to say to somebody. And the way I feel is, listen, my mama taught me this. Don't ever let anybody just decide they can speak to you whatever way they feel like speaking to you. Mm-hmm. Ever.
Shout out to Miss Mama, Miss Angela.
There's no reason. She was like, there's no reason, because you don't also, And she always made sure that I was imbued with the autonomy to go, I don't have to be bothered with you either. Bye. Like,
Exactly.
right? Like just straight out like peace. Like I don't have to be bothered.
Disengaging. No, disengaging can be
Disengaging.
such a
It's
great
super
thing.
freeing. It's very freeing because it's
Yes.
like, all right, well, if you're just gonna disrespect me, then you don't enjoy my company. So why are we in a space together? Peace.
You can speak to your shadow. Goodbye.
Yeah, go speak to your shadow. Like, fuck out of here. So it's that kind of energy. But when it's sometimes, and also the reality is too, just from in the human experience, sometimes you can hop in the ring and play, and other times you're gonna be like, all right, this is about me and my mental health, and I'm not jumping in the ring right now because I don't have the bandwidth. I don't have the energy.
Not today, Satan.
Or not today, Satan. Exactly. And it's about taking care of yourself in that way also. So that's why I say like there's certain spaces, like even as we've all gotten to know each other, now I've gotten into a little bit of a better space where now I know I'm like, okay, this is just back at like communication. This isn't like so and so. And I've also come from a defensive place sometimes in the first place because I'm just like, my antennas are up like a lot of the time. Like they just are. Like I'm just waiting for somebody to say something like,
Thank you, COVID.
you know what I mean?
COVID has not made it any better.
It really didn't. It really didn't.
See, my chance are down. I'm never waiting for someone to come at me or be shady. It's like, and I think the shade in me has become such a natural thing that I can say something and not mean to be shady, and it comes out shady. And I'm like, I didn't mean for it to be shady, but it's like I'm working on that's a work for me, working on that, like trying to separate that too, because sometimes I can say something to Theo or you, and it may not come shady to me, but it come out shady to you guys. I'm like,
yeah,
I didn't mean to shade, but
I'll be like, what the fuck you said?
Oh my god, yeah, and like that's the New York shit.
I was gonna say that's New York.
We just on
But we as New Yorkers, we are a little bit more alert. We're a little bit more like, ooh, who's that guy? Why you say good morning? Like, we have that kind of, we come from that space.
Yeah,
but it's true.
And a lot of stuff too, sometimes it's a lot of facial expressions. Like sometimes it's not always words. It's just like, oh, like that's, or that's a little shit, like that kind of stuff. Sometimes it's not so many words. It's just like, oh.
I don't know. My facial expressions constantly say, what the fuck?
Yeah. I live in that. But no, I'm like my antennas sometimes, a lot of the time my antennas are up also because like I generally am like I'm a really laid back, like chill person. So like, I think sometimes it looks like low hanging fruits. Like, oh, okay, I choose you. Like, I'm gonna go after you because it's just like, okay, it doesn't seem that hard.
Low hanging fruits is gonna be these nuts, not just
you gonna learn today.
Not today.
As Theo said earlier, like I learned all my shaving vernacular from RuPaul's Drag Race. Like from season 1 to now, I've learned everything. I developed the shade persona from watching that show itself, watching those reading sessions they have and their vernacular. Like I absorbed it myself and then interpreted it into my version of it. So you want to. That's how I learned it, and I took it in as a freshman in high school watching Drag Race. Took all those in, and it helped like me get through high school because I developed more vocabulary to protect myself when I need to defend myself. When people tried me, when the seniors and juniors who are bigger and older than me would try me, because of course they gonna try me because I was very quiet in high school. Contrary to popular belief, I was very quiet as a high school kid in my little shell. So I always got picked on. I always got tried because I was to myself. But when the beast came out, they backed the fuck up. So they knew when the beast arose, they had to get them together. They knew then, okay, leave him alone. They knew then, okay, he ain't the one to play with. Yeah, wrong one. Try again. Try somebody else. Yeah.
I have a question. What would you say, just in terms of shade and reading, do you prefer shade or you prefer a good filthy read?
I live for shade because shade just like it's because for me it's natural to just be shady, because with shade I read, so I can read somebody within my shade. So I like to take a shade just like it's so quick-witted and and it's usually off the top of my dome. So when I say something, especially if I'm like around, I'm like talking with you, or I'm around you, or I learn something about you that you don't think I know, or I pick up something that I know I can use that with sting or be a good shade dart. Yeah, it's just shade is like my thing. Like I like shade versus reading, because reading, I like reading too, but shade, to me, shade is more, it lands stronger than a read. Like shade is like, it's to me, shading and reading to is, for me, I fuse it together.
Well, what is it from Paris is Burning? It's one I love this line. It's just like what was it? It was like shade is, I don't have to tell you you're ugly because you know you're ugly.
That part,
Ooh,
that part, that
ooh,
part. That's a real good
That's
shade
my
part. That's a
favorite. And
ooh.
see, and I use that to bring up a point. Sometimes that's why I'm just like, oh, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna just be like,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna be like, oh, if you think that, okay.
You know what just came to mind, and we should do that. We should do an episode discussing our high school experience.
Oh gosh.
Oh, I like that. Just 'cause we're
Exactly.
so far removed from it now, so I feel like the lens
Yeah,
of through which we view it
Oh
now
wow.
is like so different.
we should
Because
do that.
there's little instances of, and I think there's little instances of things that'll be, like explain or give unto knowledge about each other too. Like, okay, that's why you're
Yeah.
not.
And I have a high schoul picture that I think I can give.
Oh,
I
I
We
think
and
that's
that we should put on the Instagram.
Real.
okay. Yeah. If everyone send me some
I
Okay.
have
pictures.
a I have a 18-year-old, 17-year-old picture of me ripping my shirt
Ooh.
off because I was so
Oh Lord.
provocative in high school. I'm gonna yeah, we gotta
17,
talk about it.
18 years. Oh, you old.
Listen, you're not about to turn this Instagram into no Pornhub, okay?
OnlyFans. Hey, remember, my OnlyFans account.
OnlyFans account.
17, 18 years.
Jasper, stop him. Tell him he ain't about to turn this into OnlyFans now.
If I get 50% of the profits, I definitely would support the calls, the OnlyFans calls. 50% of what you make.
I hate you. He said I will
I
support
manage
the
everything. I make sure I'll manage the site and everything. Just give me 50% of your proceeds.
I support this message.
I
Yeah.
support this message.
All right. I think that's a good spot for us to leave the shade or the disrespect. You know what? If you want some real shade lessons, hit up Jasper. If you want some real disrespect lessons, hit me up.
Yeah,
And if you want a little bit of both, Isaiah is a happy both. Isaiah can be both mixed in with a little bit of reading.
yeah.
You can take his classes on Saturday. You can take my classes on Friday and Jasper's classes on Thursday.
Yes.
Wow.
And I charge. I have a fee, so hit me up for the fee. 30 minutes, I charge. I give you a little discount for 30 minutes, and an hour, we can talk about it. So hit me up.
Oh, once he hits an hour, it's on and popping.
Yes.
The prices go up. The price went up.
You'll be a professional.
Because remember, folks,
Until next time, everybody.
all tea, all shade of America.
All
Because reading is what fundamental.
Later. So later. Bye, bitches. Oh my God.